Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host, and with me here tonight are my two sons, Michael, who's in charge of this production. Hello, Michael.
Hey, everybody.
And Jeffrey, who's our chat moderator. Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that's me, my cue.
that's-
Whoops. There's Jeff.
there's Jeff. Hi,
Here
Jeff.
I am. So,
So it's been so long, we don't know where to go. It's been 5 weeks, and we're glad to be back here. I've had a lot of time to cut some stones, and we really have a nice selection tonight. So, Jeff, you want to tell them about
yep.
the ins and outs?
Yeah, so if you've been here before, you kind of know the deal, how it runs. If you're new here, first thing I would say is if you do have a Google, Gmail, or YouTube account, log in, because then you can join our lively chat session that we've got going on. Kind of fun, and you kind of see what people are talking about, but you have to be logged in to see that. So, but as far as the show goes, if you see something you like, then I'll always be posting links, but isn't there a link on the bar somewhere, Michael, that shows up? Yep, that little green bar will show up there. So you just go to MoreGems.com, and at the top of the screen, at the top of the website, there's a little green bar. You click there, you can find the stone that we're talking about, purchase it, get it at discount, and we'll get it shipped out to you. A lot of these stones go pretty quick, so if you like it, I recommend jumping on it as soon as possible. Going through the website, you can purchase by credit card. We accept PayPal, and we accept financing through Sezzle. Or I think you can always call us like tomorrow or something if you want us to hold a stone for you. So I think is that everything? Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay.
Michael was distracted me.
The camera's a little blurry here, so.
So Steve seems to be a little blurry, so we're fixing him up a little bit. We'll make him look a lot better. That's not just how he looks. So,
Thanks.
so we're looking at that right now. But I guess one thing we wanted to talk about. Normally, you'd already been gone and done in Tucson, right? For the Tucson Gem Show.
Typically Tucson's in February. Of course, this year it didn't happen, but they started it later, and it actually, I think, starting tomorrow or the next day, the show's actually starting. It'll be a real limited show. People I've talked to out there, maybe 25% of the dealers. So we'll see how many of the buying public comes, but hopefully they have a good show. Would like to be out there, but we've been actively buying from the suppliers we might see out there, or some of our foreign suppliers. We've been doing some mail order, and it's actually worked pretty well. The whole world is changing that way because our business has been up dramatically because of the internet, and we're all learning to deal business and purchases a little differently these days. And it's probably here to stay, So the people I've talked to in Tucson, they've of course talked about a lot of people that have died in our trade from COVID, and it's unfortunate, that we've lost some friends, but the business goes on, and we're back here to have another show tonight, and hopefully a successful one. And actually, we've made a little bit of a mistake and had the stones online a little early, and we've already had several sales, so we're going to miss 3 stones at least, that actually 4 that won't make the show tonight because they already sold. But we had more than we usually have. We had 26 stones. Usually we have 20, so we're down to maybe 23 stones to show you tonight, but a good variety and some really interesting stones that we have now. So.
And as we go through the show, if you do have questions, you can always post them in the chat box, and I'll interrupt Steve on whatever he's talking about in one of his long stories, and we'll get that answered. So
All right, so let's get started. Not much new in the business. Again, I've talked to a few people that are out at Tucson and trying to see if there was anything new and exciting going on, but, nothing really. There is one new discovery, and that's kind of a purplish pink diaspore. Diaspore, we commonly know diaspore as zoltanite or czarite would be what we've known for the last 20-some years as being the only diaspore available. It was a color-changing stone that went from kind of a brownish green to a slightly, I don't even know, reddish-brown color change. Limited color change wasn't, to me, the most exciting stone on the planet. But my friend Jim Fiebig was in charge of global sales for it, so I had to like it a little bit. And I sold quite a few, but it took a big stone really to be pretty. So the difference with this material now, this is a pink diaspore. This comes from Afghanistan, and it's the newest gem available. It found in 2020, so it is a very new stone. So here it is. It's a very attractive stone. This material is very similar in characteristics, remarkably similar in characteristics to tanzanite. All of its gemological characteristics are real similar to tanzanite, but it's a different chemical makeup. So it is a totally different gem, but its hardness and specific gravity and so much gemologically, it's remarkably like tanzanite. And of course, we know if you've been around, we're really into tanzanite here. But this is pink diaspore, and just a unique stone, something different we haven't had, and for me, in a diaspore, it's the prettiest diaspore available. Yeah. So this particular stone weighs 2.99 carat, $5.96 is the sale price, and what's coupon code is spring. Okay, that's original.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the spring Gemshow.
Yeah, okay.
If anybody has any suggestions for the next one.
So 15% off of this stone. It's just a really well-cut stone, clean, and just a pretty color. Glad to have this new stone because I only started to see it in the last couple of months. And from what I've seen, this is a well-priced piece for this particular material. So what I'm showing you the stones in is this wax. This is a wax model, and let me try and, yeah.
Here to interrupt you, too.
Okay, go ahead and ask a question while I find this picture.
All right, that'll work. Okay, so Alex wants to know, does diaspora go through heat treatment like tanzanite to get its color?
No, I don't think, it's brand new, but I don't think there's any treatments for it. The other diaspores, there's no treatments. So I'm assuming this is not treated, but it's brand new. I know little about it. I do have a cert on this one. It's from a gem lab in Thailand. But I'm fairly confident it's not heat treated, and I will know that eventually. I'll figure that out, and anybody that buys this, you'll know whether it's heated or not. But I'm betting it's not heated. I don't know of any of the other diaspores. They're not heated, and I doubt this one takes heat treatment either. But it is a trichroic gem like tanzanite, and there's not a lot of trichroic gems. And it shows similar colors. It shows yellow, so would it heat treat? So, I've looked at this with the dichroscope, and the trichroic colors are there, and usually you're doing heat treatment to remove the color, and usually it's the yellow color, and it's still here, so that's a pretty good indication that it's not heat treated. So let me show you this picture. So the wax I'm showing this on, you can see what the wax model looks like, and this is actually a render of a finished piece. It's not the actual piece, but this is what that piece looks like when the diamonds are set in it. so it has diamonds around and 3 diamonds on the side and then diamonds down the shank. So just to give you an idea of what these waxes are all about, so you understand it a little better. So we take the wax and do lost wax casting. You put the wax in plaster, burn it out, leaves the cavity, and then you fill it with the gold, and then put your diamonds in and your center stone, and you have a completed piece. So the appraised price, this is a guess. I don't have, these aren't in the books, so I put it at $10.95. And our sale price is $5.96 and 15% off that. Is that right? Huh? Okay.
That's what I grabbed.
I probably should have checked these prices before. That's not right. Sorry. Where did that price come from?
We'll have to correct that.
Yeah.
So what's the actual price, Steve?
The actual price is $10.50. I'm sorry. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen again. That's one thing I typically check. So it's $15.96, $10.50, and 15 off that.
Yeah, it's incorrect on the website as well.
It's incorrect on the website.
Yeah,
15.96. Well, a bad start there.
1050.
Yeah. One other time. So, but I meant to check all these, but didn't. So, so let's, we'll get that corrected.
Great stone.
Yeah, great stone. Just not as cheap as you thought it was going to be. So,
Keep that fixed up yet? Yeah. Okay.
you need the box to, you got, okay.
Got the price.
All right. Okay. The next one I'm sure is right.
Are you?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's what it says on the box. Okay, this is another parcel. We did one last time with cushions. This is a real nice parcel of rounds. These stones measure 7 millimeters, so it's a nice size stone. Now, 7 millimeters is like a carat and a quarter diamond. These in tanzanite, these average about a carat 62 is the average weight on this. Just really nice color in them. We've got 9 pieces available. So at a carat 62, I'm not sure what that figures out per carat, but 300 and something. So very reasonable stones and just a nice size to make a nice ring. A carat and a half diamond in a ring is a nice size ring, and these will make a really beautiful piece. Or pendant. I have an example of a pendant here. There we go. So they're just really nicely cut, nice color, high clarity. And this is just an example. You can see this is all has small diamonds all the way around it. I don't think I had a picture of this one, did I?
Yeah, I think it's in there.
Is it? Huh. So that's as it looks finished. This one actually had a color change garnet in it. Yeah. So that's one possibility. And of course, make a nice size for rings, earrings. There's definitely a few match pairs in here. So what's that figure? Well, that's okay. So there's $650 less 15%. So that's about $100 off that $550. So it ends up somewhere in the middle 300s per carat, which is a good price for a nice carat and a half tanzanite with just nice deep blue and violet color. There are some more blue, some a little more violet. If you have a preference, you can request either. I think there's maybe 3 that are more blue and the others are a little more to the violet. And up next is a stone you saw last week. Do we have the other? We don't have the natural color.
It's on the website though.
Yeah, so if you look on the website, you can see what it looked like before it was heated. It looked okay as a natural. You know, it's so rare to get a natural that's worth keeping it as natural because they just don't show much color. They're just brown, and this was just kind of brown and dark, and just really didn't look like I thought a natural wood that would sell because it had a unique look to it. But I knew it would heat to be a great stone, and this one really is a beauty. I mean, the blue color in it is just dramatic. I mean, it's a mostly blue stone. It is sapphire blue, like the finest sapphires. You know, it has very little purple to it. But it's really a great stone. So just really nice brilliance to it. You know, and these colors, up till COVID hit, I wasn't getting blues like this. You know, I still, my preference is probably a mix of color. But many people like the just all blue, and this is one that really displays just sapphire blue color. There may be just a tinge of violet to it, which really adds to the beauty of it. And you'll see that in sapphire also. You know, cashmere sapphires were always known as having a little bit of violet secondary tones to them, and they were considered the finest of sapphires. So you can get a really remarkable sapphire look for a small percentage of the price, because a 8-carat sapphire that looks like this would be $15,000 a carat. I'm not sure where it'd be. They're tough to find, and you know, this is just really a remarkable tanzanite. So this particular mounting is a gents piece. I guess it could go either way. There's no reason it says it's a gents piece. It has a channel of diamonds down the side, and it's actually set up to be a bezel. You know, this was made for a little smaller stone than this, so it kind of covers the bezel, but we'd make it for a bezel to go around this stone. But that's really a great stone. And tanzanite, you know, as I expected, it started to go up in price. My latest materials I've bought have cost me, some of them 10% more. The things that I've got direct from Tanzania are up a little bit. The stones that come via India, because of the lag time, they're still pretty much the same price I've been paying, but starting to see a little push on the price of tanzanite, and fully expected. You know, I expect when COVID's finished, we'll see a fairly significant price increase. But things have changed in Tanzania, too. The president died, who was trying to get control of the tanzanite market. He built the wall around the tanzanite mines, attempting to stop exports going through Kenya primarily. So now that he's died, which not sure if it was from COVID or what the issue was. The vice president, who was a lady from Zanzibar, she's taken over. So we'll see what changes it has in the tanzanite market, if any. So, you know, so many things changing over there that it worries me that it could have a negative effect on the availability and the price of tanzanite. So I'm buying everything I can. And up next is a natural tanzanite. This is one that really displays a color that's desirable as natural, because it shows a lot of variety of color in the stone. Many times you'll see one later that's really a remarkable blue stone that I cut that the colors were interesting in it, but it was such a deep color that you just couldn't see the different colors easily. So I heated it, and you know, whereas this particular stone has some unique coloration, has some of the blues and reds, and if you look closely when you're looking at the stone, you'll see a variety of colors within it. So it makes it more desirable as a natural stone. So we'll give it a month or so as a natural, see if it sells. You know, it's a pretty big stone. I sell naturals in 2, 3, 4, 5 carat stones, but as it gets bigger, the saleability of naturals gets a little more difficult. People not willing to generally put the money into naturals. I say that, and I've of course sold a 15 carat recently. So, but it's not what you expect. You can see there in that picture the variety of colors. So this is a nice, desirable, natural color. You know, it's one of the better ones I've had recently. You know, most of them just look brown and have no character to them, but this has a nice character to it. So it makes a bigger stone that's really unique, because these would be some of the rarest gems on the planet as naturals. You know, you just rarely see these colors in a natural gem. I look at every one that I've ever cut and hope for it to be saleable as natural, but most of them just don't have the desirability like this stone. So you heat them and get the blue color that people are used to. But that's a really pretty rock. You know, and like I say, the rarity is extreme. You know, we could have more naturals, but they're naturally heated before, many of them before they're even cut, so you never have a chance to look at them as natural. So this is just a unique gem in the industry. So this one weighs 9.5 carats, $68.50 is the sale price. The appraised price is $12,350. And take 15% off of $68.50, and it's somewhere in the $1,000 range. So $58.50. I need a calculator.
There's one to your left.
Oh, I need a calculator person.
Oh, that's on me.
I only have so many hands, you know. But so $58.20 is the price of this stone. So this really nicely cut, if I say so myself. It came out really well. Just a lot of pretty colors. You know, and when you get a chance to look at it in person, as you rotate it in the right light, you'll even see more colors coming out of it.
So if somebody wanted to heat it after they bought it as natural,
Yes, you just send it back, and it's it takes a day to heat them. And you can have a blue stone, and that stone will be just top. You know, there will be few stones better quality than that stone heated.
no going back.
There's no going back. You know, once you do it, you're committed. And who's up next? All right. This comes from Mineral Mike. It's actually on our Tanzanite site, but Mineral Mike is Michael's website for crystals and this is really a remarkable one. It's the biggest one he's ever owned. And what's really nice about it is this entire tip could be faceted. I think there's as much value in faceted material as there is in this crystal, because there's actually 2 areas of this stone. If I had my light. 2 zones that are clean. And one of them is this tip. What did we figure was in the tip?
I think you said 13 karat.
Or was that total?
No, it was like 13, a 3 and a 2, or a 4 and a 2.
Yeah. So you can see the two areas. I mean, there's a inclusion, a fracture plane that runs through the middle of it, but there's 2 totally clean areas. And I think this one had to be cut in half, because there's also a fracture down the center of this one down towards the bottom here. but it was, there's 10, 15, 20 carats of faceted stones in it. But it's a great crystal. And, of course, if it was mine, I'd be chopping it up, but it's Michael's, so. And it's his business, and this is a really nice piece. Weighs 255 carats, basically. Just really nice form to the crystal.
And it's unheated.
And it's unheated. Yeah.
The color.
Yeah, and for it to be this color and natural, that's unusual. So you could cut, all these stones could be natural blue color cut, unheated, which should make them more valuable. We can't prove it generally, unless you can see once you see the yellow color in it. If it did we microscope this one?
I think we did, and we saw it
Was
like
it?
a greenish.
It's like greenish. So greenish is a little tougher to tell whether it's heated because the green sometimes won't heat out and stays in it. So it's not a totally identifiable as untreated, maybe, but anyway, there's some great material in here. We know it's natural, and generally I don't charge more for natural colors just because of that you can't 100% identify it. So one day I'm sure they will be able to. And like I say, if it's yellow, you can for sure know they're untreated, but the greenish colors, many of the greens, just the green doesn't heat out, even though there's some yellow to it. If you heated it and it stayed green, you could tell the difference and the green would change. Unlike when you're heating yellow, the yellow just totally disappears, but it would likely just change color and you'd know that it wasn't heated after you heated it. And typically they get darker. My experience has been natural stones that are naturally blue color. When you heat them, they get deeper color. They do improve in color. But there's something to be said for natural, and some people will buy it just because it is natural. So,
I'm going to show them the size of it.
Sure. I don't know what shows the size best, but it's a big rock. And it's actually not a rock. The difference between a rock and a crystal or a gem, a rock has more than one mineral in it, whereas a gem is pure. This is pure tanzanite. A rock would be, like turquoise or things that have more than one mineral within them. I don't know, turquoise is a good one to compare to, but rocks they're composed of more than one mineral, whereas a gem is a single mineral only. All right, next. Was that? Okay.
Was it?
Just checking prices. I'm price conscious now. Okay, next up is a round zircon. This particular stone comes from Tanzania, probably from Tanga district in Tanzania. And I cut this into a round brilliant because the last one I cut, like this one, the dispersion is so amazing in them in rounds that it just works really, really well because zircon has a really good dispersion, and this round cut displays that dispersion. Dispersion, as I've said many times, is the breakup of white light into spectral colors. So as you get it in the right light, you just see the different colors coming out of it. The photo lights are not the best for that, but daylight and certain I think the LEDs really show the dispersion well. But very brilliant stone, as zircon always is. Very high refractive index, which determines brilliance. So this is one of the highest of all the colored stones that we typically cut. So this round brilliant, just under 11 carats, 27.10 and 10% off with the coupon code SPRING. I don't know, do I have a picture of this mounting?
No, I don't think so.
No, didn't have that one. Okay. And the light I'm in, this is a little peachier color than what you're seeing online. So it does shift in different lights a little bit, more to the reddish and more of a copper color in the light I'm looking at currently. And yeah, whatever this, yeah, these are LEDs. You know, they just show the dispersion and the sparkling brilliance of this stone more dramatically than the photo lights do. But it's a pretty piece in any light. Next. And this is one of our sold items, pre-show sale. Yes.
This is okay.
It's a little confused.
Yes. So this is a pre-sale item. Okay. Well, I can pop in a couple questions here then.
Okay, sure.
Sally wanted to know, I think she's maybe looking at some round tanzanites, but is it tough to get like a Portuguese cut under, a Portuguese round under like 4 carats?
Well, it happens. I mean, and most of the rounds I have are somewhat Portuguese cut. You know, they have Portuguese pavilions, but they usually have a brilliant style top. It's hard to get material to cut, period. You know, so, and then finding one that cuts a round Portuguese that has the right proportions to do that, we don't see them often, and they sell quick. You know, so that's the issues. You know, 1 out of 100 pieces of rough I get could cut a round brilliant, and you know, it's just hard thing to come up with. And anything I can get that'll cut a round Portuguese, I think it is one of the prettier cuts that you can do with tanzanite. So don't have one currently, but keep your eyes open. I'll be cutting a lot in the next month or so. So,
And then,
but 4 carat is, I think most of the material I have is probably bigger, but it's possible.
Okay. Then another question, I guess, with smaller stones. Further up, I don't recall his name, but he asked if you ever get smaller stones that are the natural, you know, that diesel color or whatever you want to call it, smaller ones then.
Oh, it happens, but again, it's an issue with getting rough. And smaller rough like that, you know, I don't cut much under 2 carat, but occasionally in tanzanite it has enough value. Just the time to value of the finished piece sometimes is an issue. But 2 caraters I can cut, but just don't see much rough. So I don't know if I have anything. I've got some nice rounds now. I mean, if you want to call tomorrow and see if I have anything round that's, you know, there'll be a modified Portuguese, but I have had some really beautiful rounds lately. And when it comes to tanzanite, I have very deep pockets in tanzanite. If you don't see what you want on the website, you know, it's been an issue having the time to photograph stuff and get it on there. But I have many, many tanzanites at the moment. It's just what I'm putting all my money into because my fear that the price is going to go up and just not going to be available in the qualities that it is right now. So I have probably 10 times what we have listed on the site I have in stock. So if you don't see what you want, give us a call and we'll see if we can come up with what you're looking for.
Well, the second person was asking about unheated naturals.
Yeah, and unheated, yeah. I mean, most of them just don't come out pretty. is a real problem. You know, you get 1 out of 10 that has potential of selling because it's natural, but most of them are just brown. You know, they look like smoky quartz, you know, which is not too exciting. They just don't show those colors that make a natural a little more exciting than just being brown. You know, so few of them will have those blues and reds and secondary colors that make it a desirable piece.
Okay.
So we heat them and turn them blue and sell them.
That works.
So you want to
What was? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the chrome pyrope that sold.
thank you for the sale. by the way.
Yes, thank you for the sale. You know, we appreciate it, but this was a really beautiful stone, and actually I almost didn't put it on because I could not capture the true beauty of this stone. The red that's in these is truly remarkable. And I did the best to Photoshop this to get it the right color, but there's no way of that I'm capable, and particularly in the video. You know, what comes out of the camera is what you get, and it's not the red the stone is. So it's much better. You know, it's a little darker in color because the big problem with chrome pyropes is they're too dark. That's why you don't see them very big, because as they get bigger, they get overly dark and they just look blackish with little flashes of red out of it. This particular stone here just had a real good life, but it is deeper color, and the color is, you know, they're just a indescribable red color. You know, it's not a ruby red, but it is just red. You know, I don't know, crimson red, I don't know what you call it, but they are beautiful stones. And I have bought some rough, and I'm going to try and cut some. Like I said, often they'll cut too dark is the real issue with them. So hopefully the rough I'm looking at, we'll cut some nice stones, and we'll have some more chrome pyropes in the near future. All comes out of Arizona. They're called anthill garnets because when they originally discovered them, it was because the ants' hills were red because they brought up all this real small garnet from down below. And then, you know, you dig it up and you find anthill garnets. So
We saw that same thing happening
Yes.
at the Oregon Sunstone.
yes, Oregon sunstone, same thing. The anthills are covered with sunstone. You know, so kind of cool. You know, the anthill garnets, I'm sure, are more dramatic because the sunstone is basically light, colorless to yellow, light yellow. You know, so I'd like to see the anthills in Arizona. One day we'll do that. Go look specifically for anthill garnets, so I can take a picture of an anthill garnet hill. So that being said, that one sold, but keep your eye open for our website for more of these chrome pyropes because they are special. This color, I've never seen it from any other country. I see some pyropes from Tanzania that are close, but these are just redder than any garnet I've ever seen. You know, therefore they bring a pretty good price. You know, particularly when you start pushing into 2-carat. Really, 2-carat is generally as big as you're going to see them, because otherwise, again, they'll be black. And up next, one that is for sale is a morganite. This came, I've shown many morganites. This is one of the smaller ones. The others have been 20, 30 carats, so this is a little more reasonable size. The crystals you see in it are just not visible when you look at them. Typically, I mean, you'd have to look really, really close to see these crystals, but because they're crystals and the amount of light that's on them and the magnification, you can see them. But generally, when you wear this piece, it's not something you're gonna notice those crystals that are apparent in the picture here. So this is a little different cut. You know, just kind of cut what the piece of rough was, and it's basically a step cut. But nice color for a smaller morganite. And again, the nice thing about this material from Ethiopia is that it is all natural. There's no treatment. You know, much of the material that's on the market has been irradiated to color. So it started out as a colorless barrel, which this is barrel related to aqua, emerald, heliodor, goshenite, which is colorless. This is just the peach form morganite. You know, I've never tested this to see if heating will turn this pink, but in the past, many sources, this particular color could be turned pink. I'm not willing to sacrifice the peach color that I love so much to see if it'll turn pink, so. So that stone, $13.40 for the stone, 15% off with coupon code SPRING. What's our next stone, Mike? And another tanzanite. I've been pretty busy cutting tanzanites lately, so you're going to see a few tanzanites. This one, in all my time in business, I've only had one other marquee that's this kind of size. You know, I don't typically cut marquees, but this piece of rough just said marquee, marquee. And this material, which probably in this light we can't see it, but this has a lot of red flash in it. You know, red flash, yeah, you can catch it occasionally. But in good light, it has a lot of red flash. So just really, really deep color, red flash, interesting shape in the marquee. Just face is really big.
There's like color throughout.
Yeah, it's a nice, pretty stone. I don't remember what the. So it is a mixed. I don't have the specs on it. Huh. So it does have a lot of violet in it. It's definitely a mixed blue-violet stone, probably maybe 50-50 blue to violet. So when you go to daylight, it's going to be much more blue, and in incandescent, much more violet. And then you get the red flash, which is really a special characteristic that you rarely see in tanzanites. And it's typically only in the top colored stones that you see that red flash.
I lost my top camera.
You lost your what?
Top camera.
Oh, okay.
Duplicated.
So $39.90 and 15% off. Coupon code SPRING, which is it's going to be about $600. So what's that? 3,400 for a 6.25 carat marquee tanzanite. And next, Mike. Question there, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever been asked this, but say if someone decided to, say they bought that large unheated tanzanite, and later on they're like, you know what, I want it blue, or I want to see if it'll change color. Could we heat it for them?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't we just answer that?
Did we?
Yeah. I don't. Where were you?
I
Jeff?
was answering questions. all right.
Okay. Yes.
Moderating.
Yeah, you just send it back to us, and the
There's
next.
no guarantee on the color, though, right? I mean,
Well, those I can guarantee it. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be, but they're going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be top quality color. Yeah, no question about it. Yeah. it's pretty easy. I mean, I've got a pretty good idea what I'm going to end up with, and I don't know which stone, if it was that shield cut. I'm not exactly sure the axis it's on, do I? But if depending on the axis that they're cut on, if they're cut on the blue axis, they're going to be a little more to the blue. Can't see it. Which this one is on the blue axis. So it'll tend to be more blue when they're cut on the blue axis. So I'm guessing you're going to get the kind of color that the square cushion has, which is mostly blue and just very intense color. Yeah. I mean, the color of the finished stone is somewhat based on the depth of the color of the natural. So the darker the color of the natural, the darker the actual finished blue is going to be. So, and that one's pretty dark, verging on, if it was any darker, it wouldn't be any good as a natural because you couldn't see the secondary colors in it, which is what happened with the stone you'll see down further into the show. Big emerald cut I cut that was just too dark. You could see the blues and the flashes in it were very nice. Had red flashes, but boy, you had to be under a bright light to see it. So it had to be heated, and it heated incredible. So that stone, that shield cut, I assume that's what we're talking about, is going to be an incredible stone. And if it lasts for a month, you'll see. So, what's up next there, Mike? Okay, another mineral Mike stone. And this is a scapolite. I've cut many of these scapolites, but this is just really a beautiful crystal shape. So we won't be cutting this one.
Could be though, right?
And typically this is the axis you want to cut because it's darker. But this is pretty much totally clean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty clean in there.
Yeah.
I didn't take a crazy look, but it's pretty clean.
So you could facet this stone. Your facetors out there. What's it weigh? 38 carat. It's going to cut a 20 carat. If you cut it this direction, it's 20 carat. If you cut it down this, you're going to cut two stones that probably weigh 15. So you could do a match pair out of it that direction, or one big emerald cut. But hopefully we're selling it to a mineral collector, and this is just a really nice specimen. Just nice and clean. Not only interior, the surface is just got a very nice crystal faces. And that scapolite comes from Tanzania. And I probably have a few cut ones on the website. So this is $369 less 15%. So you're somewhere around $300 for this really nice specimen, and it's a big one. I suppose you could do it as a pendant.
Not bad, Steve.
Yeah, it looks good.
You got a tourmaline back there you got to make for yourself.
Yeah, one of these days. Which I have a nice one to show coming up soon. Okay, that's a scapolite from Tanzania. I first saw the scapolites back in the early 80s. There was some people that owned one of the Tanzanite mines that were bringing also scapolite over from Tanzania, and they were at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, and they had some big crystals. I mean, they were hundreds of carats, but haven't seen that since. Only recently have we started seeing more scapolite on the market. So before that, it was 30 years between productions. All right, next. That's next, huh? This is one of the few repeats, to a show. I think we had this on an opal show. But it's such an amazing stone. I had to show it again. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's really a semi-black. Some might call it a black. But I don't want to get called out by the Australians and saying, that's not black. But if it was Australian, they'd probably call it black. You know, black just means it has a dark body color. And this one's pretty dark body color. But the play of color in it is just extraordinary. You know, I faceted it just because I like to facet. But the colors everywhere are just extraordinary. Not a dead spot on it. The back is interesting. Big red flash going to green flash. But this side, you know, got some of the honeycomb. You know, the honeycomb, you can see it there. They have like a gray outline to the cones, and then when you look inside them, those flashes just are remarkable. You know, they go right along with that honeycomb pattern that you see there, and it's just when you look down those cells, you see that brilliant flash. But that is one special opal. Again, this is from Ethiopia. It's pretty much every color of the rainbow, and those blues. The blues and indigo. You know, I always wonder what indigo is, and I think that's indigo.
Could be. Right there, yeah.
I keep trying to identify it in the rainbow, but it's hard to see what Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, and violet. And they're all in here. So that this weighs 13.50 carats. $5,400 and 15% off that. For one of the finest opals on the planet. All right, and up next is another tanzanite. Slightly lighter color, but you know, even this stone has a red flash to it. You know, nice emerald cut, and I don't know if we can catch the red flash. It's probably in this light it's going to look purple, but a nice pleasing stone. 2 carat 71. This is a stone I cut, just a stepped emerald cut. I think it was a cut off from another piece. 1455, less 15%.
Pushing too many buttons.
Yeah.
Camera's going out. My bad. I hope everybody's okay at home.
You have to put a warning on there. Flashing light may cause. Okay, up next. Citrine. You know, this, I looked at my rough and just this piece just popped out because it had such extraordinary color. You know, this material comes from Uruguay. And for a long period, probably 15 years, this material has been available in citrine. I still see amethyst, but I'm just not seeing much citrine available because I've never seen the quality of citrine like what's come out of Uruguay. Just the color is so remarkable, so orange, and just nice big clean pieces. So I cut this is an all step cut, which I've been pretty much stuck on step cuts lately. They just do a nice thing. They're easy to do, and they give you a nice brilliance, and they give you good yield. So is why I like the step cuts for you cutters out there. But the color on this stone is just amazing for citrine. It just doesn't get better. So it's just over 20 carats, $890, less 15% with the coupon code SPRING. And this is the rough material. So that's the termination of the crystal. And this would have been what it came from. Something just like this, because this is from Uruguay. And these come from heat-treated amethyst. Citrine typically doesn't come out naturally like this. They'll take certain of these materials, not all of it treats to citrine, but some of it will treat to a nice citrine color like this. So this is how it originally started.
So that's citrine heated?
So it's heated, yes.
Heated.
So you heat it to, I don't remember the temperature, maybe 600 Fahrenheit. I've got it in my notes, but also you heat it more and it turns colorless, and you heat it more and it cracks up and turns milky. So I've done all those. Next there, Mike. Yep, something sold.
Yep. Yeah, I want to thank Eric. He purchased the 2.71 carat emerald cut tanzanite.
Oh, cool. Emerald cuts have been very popular. I've just had so many calls for them lately, and I don't have many. It's just not the most common cut, but I think it accents color probably the best of any cut out there. It's just a pleasing look. You don't get the same kind of brilliance you get out of a round or an oval, but, it's just a pleasing look.
Yep.
For tanzanite. Just gives a soft look to that color and intensifies the color.
Yeah.
So,
Eric, if I'm not sure if you're planning on doing a custom design with this, but you can always email us afterwards or give us a call, and you can design something with these stones.
Yeah, you bet. We can, this is a little out of the normal size, so it probably is a custom design to do it. Sometimes we can find things that are already made that fit it, but this is probably a custom design. Be glad to help you with it, work with you on designing, and see if we can come up with a nice piece for you. Or we're glad to sell it to you loose. Less work, but less money too. So, yeah.
And one more question with the citrine. It says, what does the remove to make it orange?
The purple. I like tanzanite, what he's referring to. Tanzanite, we heat it to remove the yellow. I'm not sure exactly what's happening during the heating process of citrine. I'll try and figure that out, but just never really looked into what the change is. Sometimes it's the valent state of, like a lot of things, valent state of iron is changed and causes the color change in quite a few gems, which would include aqua. I believe it does change the valent state and gets rid of the green color. Although you're removing yellow and aqua too. So I don't know. I'll see if I can find out, and if I find that out,
Next
next
show.
show we'll bring it up.
All right.
Thanks for the question. Next one, make it one I know. Okay, next stone. Jeff, was there more than one sale?
No.
I had a couple of beeps on my.
Your phone?
I have a new
Cool.
new Apple 6 watch.
Man.
Just got it. I'm actually monitoring my heart, which I've had a little AFib, and it does monitor that. So that's why I bought the Apple Watch.
Sure it wasn't
Yeah.
because the walkie-talkie.
I can walkie-talkie on it too. I don't even. I just put it on today, so I have no idea what it does. But it's.
The endorphins that push when you see the
They'll come through. It'll
But
be
it's
2
Dick Tracy for sure. Finally, we have Dick Tracy's watch for those of you old enough to remember who Dick Tracy was. Maybe he's still in cartoon or in comics. Of course, we don't get the papers anymore, so do we get it comics? Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Steve.
Yes. See, these young kids have no idea what it's all about. So, all right, what's next? All right, that one's up. This is the last tanzanite I cut, and this is one that had really pretty colors in it as far as a natural, but they were so dark that you just really had to be in a bright light to see them. So I decided to heat it, and boy, I'm glad I did, because this is the most incredible blue color I have ever seen in a tanzanite. It's just sapphire blue, almost no violet, a little bit of violet, but it's just a remarkably blue stone. I've never seen a bluer stone than this. My wife's comment, hello Nancy out there, if you're still awake. My wife's comment was, what'd she say? It looks fake. It was just so blue it looked fake. Which is a good comment, because I see glass that looks like this and is just such intense color. There is one minor inclusion. You can see it in the video, but totally impossible to see when you look at it. I mean, without the right lighting, you just will never see that inclusion that's in there. I worried whether it would open up during heating, but it didn't. So it's really something that has no effect on the beauty of the stone. And this stone is just incredible. I mean, it is the finest blue tanzanite I have ever seen in my life. Yeah. It weighs 16.07 carats. $11,249, and 15% off that. So it's I don't know, $1,600 off that.
Too bad I didn't put that one for $549, huh?
Yeah. Well.
I would have bought that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was pre-buyer.
Definitely an investment piece. I mean, it's hard to. You'll never find another stone that looks like this. Some bold statements, but I do feel that. Yeah.
You have a mounting or anything to put that on?
No, I don't have anything that big.
Give us a kind of a hold it up size.
Hold it up size. Right.
Good size stone, actually.
Oop. All right. Next one there, Mike. And here's a praisiolite. Praisiolite is greened quartz. Green meaning it's been irradiated to provide this color. Nice different shape, 25 karat stone. This is, some consider it a citrine, but it's just praisiolite. It's a green quartz. Probably started out colorless and irradiated to this color.
You ever seen it natural?
No, I haven't. I was told this one was natural, but I don't believe it. So 365 less 15%, which is somewhere $300. So about $12 a carat for this material. And what's next? Sapphire. Don't do a lot in sapphire typically because I'm so into tanzanite, but I've got a friend in Thailand that just sent me some stuff, and I liked his cutting. To get sapphire that's well cut, it's not always easy. They just tend to cut for weight, and culettes are typically off center and the faceting's not right. But these are cut real well, and the unique character of this one is it's unheated. Almost all sapphire you see out there is heated to color. It typically improves the color of most stones, and it probably would make this color a little darker if it were heated. But the value of unheated stones, if they're pretty, is significantly greater than a heated stone. They have a completely different price sheet for unheated gems. So you'll typically see that the heated is as much as double the price of an unheated stone. So this is natural unheated, just a very brilliant color. And just a pretty, pretty color. Yeah, I think it's more accurate in the picture than it is showing here. I don't think it's quite that dark. But just a really pretty, bright stone. Getting sapphire that has a lot of brilliance is not the easy thing either. Often they're too dark, they don't show color. Too poorly cut, they don't show the color well or the brilliance. This just has everything. Cut, has the brilliance, natural color, untreated. Make a great engagement ring because they're so hard. And you've got a stone that's just a special stone because of the no treatments. And this is a stone that's you can easily identify as treated or not treated typically. It has an effect on the inclusions within it that alters them, that typically we can ID them. And I think this one has some perfect, they're called lily pads. There's crystals in them. And when you heat it, those crystals expand and they get a halo around them. Just a circular, It actually opens up, fractures slightly, but just very, very small. It's microscopic, but the labs can ID it. And this actually comes with a GIA cert to certify that it is a natural color. But very, very clean stone. Just has everything going for it. So $19.90 is the price, 15% off that for this natural unheated sapphire. This comes from Sri Lanka. Whoop. So again, this mounting pretty much diamonds down the shank. Looks like like 3 bigger ones and then 3 separating each, and then diamonds around the center stones. And all these models that we show and any of the pieces that are online, we can make to fit any stone. We can redesign these to fit pretty much anything. Because this piece is actually a little big for this stone. Those prongs don't quite touch it. So question, Jeff?
Yeah, so you're talking about heating. I guess I don't know. It's a good question. I ponder the same thing. But is there a difference between heating and irradiating a stone as far as the end result?
Well, it depends on the stone. Some stones will heat and alter, some won't. Some will irradiate and alter.
What's the difference between irradiating and
heating, of course, we're just throwing it in the oven, and, these you're heating to 1,500, 2,000 degrees. Irradiation, they do it a couple of different ways. Either they put it in an atomic pile, like blue topaz, London blue topaz would be done. The radiation is different in atomic pile than what you would see in a cyclotron. And in the case of blue topaz, a cyclotron produces Swiss blue, and atomic pile produces London blue, which is a darker blue. The atomic pile treatment leaves residual radiation, and you've got to put them away for 6 months before you can even sell them. And other stones, some stones will irradiate, some things won't do anything. Tourmaline's a rubellite. You can create rubellite by irradiating pink tourmaline. Irradiation produces there's Maxis beryl, which is an aqua that's a really sapphire blue color. But irradiation often is unstable. And you put those stones in sunlight for long periods, which includes the prasiolite. You can't put them in sunlight for a long period of time without fading the color. So irradiation sometimes is unstable. In the case of blue topaz, it's totally stable. It won't alter. But certain stones are unstable with the radiation. So we generally in the business are not as excited about radiation as heating, because heating is a basic part of our business, because almost at least 2/3 of all stones, heat treatment is maybe not that much. Let's say half of every stone is heat treated. Sapphire, maybe it's 85% are heat treated. Ruby, all the Mangshu rubies out of Burma were heat treated. We are seeing naturals come out of Mozambique, but others are heat treated. So maybe 50% of all Mozambique stones are heat treated. So heat treatment's common in the business. Tanzanite, it's 99.9% of them all are heat treated. So that answer the question?
So you don't have an atomic pile behind that
No atomic pile. I
gated
wish I had a
vault
source.
behind you? Okay.
I wish I had a radiation source, because I've had a few. I've taken a beautiful, a brownish pink tourmaline, and overheated it and turned it colorless. And I'm thinking that I could irradiate it again and bring it back to pink. I just don't have, we used to do it here in the United States commonly. There was a lab in Missouri that one of the schools in Columbia City or somewhere down there that used to do the irradiation of blue topaz, but the government stepped in and stopped all that. So all irradiation's mostly done overseas now. So I don't have a ready source to irradiate And you got to have somebody you trust and knows what they're doing, because I have a few stones that could use irradiation to improve their color. But they generally do it by the kilo and not by the single stone. So, it's hard to find somebody to treat a single stone for you.
And one additional question, Sean asks, is kunzite irradiated?
Some is. There's some really intense colors that I believe were irradiated to color. But kunzite's unstable anyway. Most kunzite will fade in daylight. Is the reason you don't see kunzite in here, because I've faded a few just by, we did a show across the street here, an art show, and we had our stones out there, and just the weekend just turned this beautiful pink kunzite into colorless. So kunzite fades fairly quickly, as do other radiated stones. Not thinking which ones offhand, but irradiation is not always stable. So whereas heat treatment is stable, once you heat it, it's going to stay stable color, because you're usually removing things or altering the valence state by heating.
What about the zircons and the mercury vapor lights, like in Costco?
Yeah, that's a weird character. If I've seen it, and have had people call me on what happened to their zircon, because there's zircons that come out of blue zircon that comes out of Tanzania that have a weird effect to mercury vapor lights. One woman called me and said, my beautiful blue zircon turned brownish, and now it's just kind of this muddy color. I said, you didn't go to Costco or anything last night, did you? She said, I was at Costco. And it's those mercury vapor lights that are up in the ceiling that have a weird effect on certain blue zircons. And I think it's, not material from Cambodia, because they're stable, but the Tanzanian material do that, because I've had it myself, stones I've had, and found out that was the issue.
So don't go to Costco wearing jewelry.
Well, just blue zircon is the only thing that does that from Tanzania. The Cambodian material it doesn't have that issue, but it's just a certain wavelength affected that stone that you get out of mercury vapor lights.
All right.
So, and most of those lights, they're changing to LEDs, so that'll probably not be an issue in the future. Wonder if you could sue for that.
Well, during that interesting story and education there, we sold 2 pieces.
Oh, cool.
So Martha just purchased that unheated sapphire.
Good.
That we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's a fun stone.
And then
I've had it for entirely 2 days, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, this other one I don't think you've had too long either, but Eileen purchased the diaspora, the first stone we talked about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that one's beauty.
Yeah. Is this?
Yeah.
Thanks, Eileen.
Thank you.
We know
I wanted
Eileen.
to say your last name, but I probably shouldn't. So thanks. Yeah, it's really a cool stone. I'll try and get more. I just, some people just ask huge money for it. I mean, you can see them out there for $600, $700, $1,000 a carat. But it's because it's new, and I don't know how much there is out there. Or, I've only just recently seen it, so we'll see what happens with the diastore market. It might be something to invest in, because, again, we've talked about it before. So many of these stones, they find it, and as quick as they found it, it's gone. So when you get something new, the best thing to do for me, is to buy as much as possible, and hold on to it. Ideally, you would hold on to it for a year or two and see if that's just the case, because more than half the stones that are new discoveries, within a year they're gone. It's same with the Rwanda amethyst was 6 months. And it's just many, many things over and over and over again. I see that. So hopefully for you, Eileen, that's the case, and you got a special stone for a special deal. Thanks. All right, next one is another sapphire. Now this one's heat treated. And nothing wrong with heat treated, because if it was, we wouldn't have any sapphires. Because like I say, 85% of all sapphires that are on the market are heat treated. Because many of them, like the Sri Lankan stones, many of the stones start out this milky gray. They call it Gouda. Whether that's the right pronunciation is Geuda. Gouda. Gouda? Like Gouda cheese, yeah. Kind of like Gouda. Kind of looks like Gouda. It's a milky white, and you heat it, and the milkiness is caused by silk that's in the stone, and the silk is rutile, and rutile is the coloring agent for the blue sapphire. So you heat it up, the silk dissipates into the gem and turns it blue. So this was discovered back in the early 1980s. I was just getting into the business then, and this all started coming out of Thailand, because the Sri Lankans had no idea why the Thais were buying all this material. But they were the ones that were heat treating it and making a fortune off this stuff that the Sri Lankans were selling very inexpensively, because it was just ugly as can be. There was no beauty to that gem at all, but they were heating it and turning it into stones like this.
Imagine the first guy that did that.
He was excited.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he opened his mouth, and then everybody knew. I wonder who the first guy was. All right. Well, this is sitting on there. I knocked a prong off it, but so it's sitting a little crooked. But it's a pretty stone, and I would, if I were going to guess at that last natural stone, if you heated it, you'd get a color like this. But no reason to heat it, because it's already beautiful. But this a little deeper color is what the heat treatment gives you. So this one weighs a carat 20. And you can see for the same size, the heat treated stone doesn't bring as much money as the natural. And if that natural were this color, being natural, it'd have probably been a $3,000, $3,500 stone. As compared to really double the price of what this heated stone is. But no doubt it wasn't a beautiful stone before it was heated. But now it's a beautiful stone. So nice sapphire cushion shape, which is very popular. Has good brilliance. Again, really a great engagement ring for somebody. All right, and up next, this one was a fun stone for me. I just bought this rough, when was it? Last week. A friend was coming through on the way to Tucson show and stopped by, and he had this material. This is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, that's been producing just a huge amount of tourmaline lately. And this is just the top end of the greens. Most of the greens are lighter and not quite as beautiful as this, but this stone came out really well. This is a cut I've been wanting to do for a while, because this is a style of cutting that if I ever get set up in Tanzania to cut particularly earring-sized stones, the 1 to 2 carat sizes, this is the cut that I would like to do. It's really a modification of a Portuguese cut, just less facets. So there's 6 rows of 16 facets instead of 10 rows in a full Portuguese. But the things it does, it gives you a shallower stone and still has really good brilliance. Portuguese cut is special, but it's a cut that would be very difficult to do in earrings because it's so deep. It's a stone that often is 90% depth, which produces a really cool brilliance, but makes it hard to set. It makes everything set up much higher. So this is a variation of that cut that gives you a shallower cut that's easier to set.
So is this an original or is this?
Well, it's an original for me as far as the cutting design, but it's not. It is, but it isn't. How I cut it is a little different. I've never seen them do this because overseas, the Portuguese pavilion, like this stone has, is what they cut everything to. But what they do in the crown is cut a standard round brilliant crown, which I believe this works much better than a standard round brilliant. It produces a greater brilliance. So if you cutters over in Tanzania are over there, don't look at this cut. This is mine. Yeah, that's the problem with doing these shows. If you got secrets, you let them out. Yeah.
You're like Mr. Gouda.
Mr. Gouda. Yes, yes. Yeah, let the secret out, and everybody's doing it. It's Gouda.
Gouda?
The gray sapphire rough.
Oh.
That the
I thought
secret
we were
got
talking
out.
about that dog from the baked beans commercial.
Okay.
That was a secret.
Well, anyway.
Okay.
Are you doing your homework over there?
I'm answering questions over here.
Okay. So this is 2350. This is just a really nice tourmaline. I mean, I haven't bought a lot of the Congo tourmaline. Much of it's pink. I don't sell a lot of the pink. And the greens are just not, to me, generally very exciting, generally too light. But this particular color, I'm very excited about. Not quite chrome green, and it does in certain lights exhibit a little more blue. But I've got some about 5 or 6 more pieces of rough like this. Some are a little more blue than this, but really thrilled with how this came out. It's just finding a tourmaline with that much brilliance. And the really special thing about this tourmaline is that the colors in all directions are very attractive color, so it makes it easier to cut. Because most tourmalines, if you look at even some of our tourmalines on our website, there's an axis there's 3 axes, A, B, and C, and often the C axis, which is the long axis. If you're looking at a pencil, the C axis is down that long length, and often tourmalines, it's black. They call it extinction. So you have to modify how you cut it so it doesn't bring the black in. You could never cut one of those stones into a round brilliant because 2 of 4 quadrants in this stone would be black and the others would show color. So you just don't cut those stones as rounds. You cut them as emerald cuts and make the ends of them almost vertical so they don't reflect light. So this was a special piece of material because all directions were beautiful colors. It was much more blue-green down one axis and just a beautiful green down the A and B axis. So you could pretty much cut it any direction and you'd have a beautiful stone. So just not typical of tourmalines. That's what made this material special. So you don't have a dark color area. It's just all nice, even color all around. So it shows a great brilliance in every direction. And up next is from Mineral Mike, just a beautiful spinel crystal. Spinels don't come big, and they don't come this clean very often. This is material that you could cut it. It wouldn't cut clean, but it would still probably cut a beautiful stone. You'd see inclusions in it, but spinel's so bright and beautiful a color that you could cut a stone out of this and have something saleable. But as a crystal, it's special because the shape of it, this is a cubic crystal. The cubic system produces this type of shape. And we don't have that, yeah. The one you got that's that double triangle. It's okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah. There was another spinel that Michael has that you'll be able to see on his website in the next week or so. That is just another unique crystal shape that the cubic system produces, which is much more triangular in shape. This is the same crystal system that diamond forms in. So you'll see diamonds like this, which is a bipyramid. So it's like a pyramid base to base is basically what this shape is. So kind of unique in spinel and, well, not unique because garnet does it, and you don't see garnet real often this shape, but garnet comes more often in a dodecahedron, which is another form of the cubic system. But this is for a spinel crystal, just clean surface, nice shape, clean internally, and just really nice color also.
If you rested on a ring, I thought about doing this.
Oh yeah, you can make jewelry out of this for sure. You know, they do it with really ugly diamond crystals. This would be special. You know, and would, again, an engagement ring made out of this could be something special. This isn't exactly what we do, but yeah. But it could definitely go into a ring. You know, and spinel is very hard stone, so it's going to hold up. It's not going to hold up to anything that you could do to it, but you know, it is one of the harder gems, so it's going to take abuse much better than other stones. So it's a nice size for a ring, you know, and that's really the best place for it. You know, it's not a huge for a mineral specimen, but as a ring, it could really, really be a cool piece. You know, and that's been so popular for us these days, is putting color into engagement rings. There's just so many people looking for something different. You know, diamond's nice, but it's just another gem, you know, and some people like color, and, you know, stones like this could make really a special engagement ring or just a ring for every day. And it's not a lot of money, $429 less, you know, you're probably $350 with the discount. And for a spinel, it's a big spinel. I mean, usually they're pinhead size, and this comes from Mogok in Burma, same place that you get the world's finest rubies, or we used to. You know, not much coming out of Burma these days.
Your friend Chris Clemens wanted to know if you've checked the spinel for fluorescence under long wave.
Oh, well, we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make this stone glow. I don't know if I can turn these lights on. Because,
All right.
yeah.
Presentation time.
There it's on the cable. Oop, let's get it in view here. Can't quite tell where it is. Yeah, that's true. It's not in view. That's got to be there.
Yeah, let me get you some light back.
Up. There's something wrong with the picture, I think. Oh, no, it was lit. But just hardly can tell. Where's my finger? Oh, we're way off.
There we go.
That's the problem. Okay. Lights out. This is what Chris is talking about.
Ah.
It's not really in focus, but there you go. So it just has very strong fluorescence. Kind of the same thing you'd see from the Burmese rubies. Same kind of fluorescence, which we have one here. This is not Burmese, but you can see it fluoresces strongly. This is the ruby we showed you earlier. Strong fluorescence also. And Chris, you want to tell us what causes that in these stones? Chris is our fluorescence expert. So we'll get his input on this, and if you have an answer for, we assume it's similar for both, and I assume I know what it is, but I'm not going to throw it out there because I could be wrong. So we're going to count on you to tell us what's making this spinel and ruby fluoresce so strongly. And while we're doing that, what's up next there, Mike? Oh, it is the ruby. Okay.
Good transition.
Ah, there you go. So after seeing that fluorescence, so reds are really, really tough for me to photograph. Like I told you before, the chrome pyrope I almost didn't put on because reds just are, I can't photograph the red. This actually is a really, really nice red ruby. Comes from Mozambique, but the color there looks just so. But trust me, it's a really, really fine ruby, slightly violety red. The picture on the site is close, but it's still a prettier stone than that. I'm not sure what it takes to photograph red stones, but I haven't got it. Some kind of filters. Anybody photographer out there, how you make things look as red as they truly are is beyond me. So that's why you don't often see rubies on here. Emeralds, because of inclusions in emeralds, they're tough to photograph, so we don't see emeralds on our shows and online much. So, but this, if you're local, come and see this ruby if you're interested, because it is just a really, really attractive ruby. And good clean stone. For a ruby, it's a very clean stone. Again, these are out of Mozambique. Burma has pretty much quit producing. No production from there to speak of. So Mozambique is our primary source now for rubies. This one is heat treated. Occasionally you can get the Mozambique rubies that aren't heated. Again, twice as much money for a similar look is what you pay for unheated. All right, next, Mike. Any questions there, Jeff?
Not on the ruby.
Okay.
We do have an answer back from Chris.
Oh, okay.
So the red fluorescence, and this is in response to the Myanmar spinel. The red fluorescence is activated by the trivalent chromium CR3+ in both ruby and spinel. The chromium substitutes for aluminum in the crystal structure.
All right, there's your answer. Cool. Thank you, Chris. Chris, I have some books for you sitting here on my desk. Thanks for the use, and you better get them before I beat them up somehow. Okay, up next. This is a spessartite, and Tanzania is not the right locality. This is Nigerian. And this to see it in person, it has so much brilliance. It's just amazing brilliance. It looks okay here, but it's really a remarkable stone. As most garnets are. The brilliance of garnets is there's few stones that are more brilliant. They have a diamond-like brilliance, and this definitely is one that does that. Relatively big stone. The 3 carat is on the larger size for this material, like many garnets, like saverites and the chrome pyropes. As you get over 2 carat, the rarity jumps pretty dramatically. There was a time we were getting material out of Nigeria that was much bigger, 10, 15 carat stones. And I found stones that big in Madagascar. But the current availability of spessartites, especially clean like this, it's a really internally very, very clean stone. It's hard to find them with this high a clarity. The material that's coming out of Tanzania is never this high a clarity. Getting eye clean is typically the best you can do. But this stone is a VS1 clarity, so very, very small inclusions within it. Beautifully cut. I didn't cut it, but the cutter is really, really a good cutter. I'm going to try and analyze this cut because for an oval, I like it. It's one of the better cuts I've seen. Nice proportions to the oval, and the broader stone more like a roval. This one's a little broader than typical. It helps brilliance out dramatically. So the beauty of the stone is better for its shape, and its brilliance is better. So we have a sale.
We do.
And what is it?
So I want to thank Elizabeth. She purchased the Violet Oval Ruby.
Oh, cool.
Is that one that was? Yes. Is that the one we just talked about?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good.
And she purchased the 8.66 carats cushion tanzanite.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2 great stones.
Especially buying the ruby from the pictures. You're going to be thrilled, because it's just a world of difference, as far as the beauty of the stone. Just looks more brilliant, better color, so you'll hopefully you'll be very happy with it. So thanks. So. All right, and moving on from the spessartite. Spessartite, interesting story about it. There was a time, let me see if I can remember what I'm trying to say here. There was a weird period of time when the Mandarin spessartite garnet, which was really, really hot, just disappeared from the market. And at that same time, 3 different sources of spessartite were found. And that was Nigeria, Madagascar, and the third one, I'm not sure offhand, but just kind of surprising that, just like the ruby, this happens over and over again. The Burmese ruby disappears, and all of a sudden they find it in Mozambique. And this was a case with the spessartite garnet that, we had created such a great market for the Mandarin spessartite garnets. It disappears, and all of a sudden 3 new sources are discovered within a year. So just kind of craziness sometimes in this business. And up next, Jeff or Michael.
Which one? We're both here.
Oh, well, whoever wants to pick it. I think it's up to you, Mike. Oh, okay. Well, interesting stone, but it's sold. This was, I haven't had one of these in a long time. I don't want to talk it up too much because it's gone, but they call it combat color. Combat, I guess, I don't know why. The blue and the green, I think it's the green part of it. What were the other names for it? What was the other? Ocean?
And peacock.
peacock. Yeah, it has a lot of names. You know, there was a time when this stuff was so available, you know, that I go, why would I want that? I'm after blue purple, you know, but the world has changed, and things like gray spinels have become popular, and a lot of odd colors. And this color, just everybody was asking me for this color. And, you know, I called my suppliers. I said, the mine that produced that is just quit producing. So I haven't had a stone like this maybe ever, you know, because I used to reject it. Now I would love to buy it, you know, but now it's not available. But I did get this one. And it actually came in a parcel, which I was going to show you the parcel. It came in this parcel of fancy colors. Can you get that in the picture? Whoop. So this is a parcel of, a little out of focus, but let's see if I can. There you go. These are all naturals that I'll be cutting here in the near future. Naturals have been very good. I don't know if we've sold all the naturals on our site now. Yeah, is there? I mean, it's just been really popular. And so these will be in the near future. You know, they're only going to cut carrot and a half, maybe a 2, maybe a 3 carat in the bunch. But a lot of unique colors. And, you know, these are exceedingly rare. You know, I would buy, the way they're selling, I would buy all I can get, and this is all I can get. So I'm thrilled to have this parcel. And that combat color came out of this. It's the first stone I cut from this parcel. So there'll be some pinks and some peachy colors and, of course, some yellows and, you know, the goldens that are there. You know, they're probably the least desirable of the bunch. Well, we'll see. You know, sometimes I'm surprised when I cut these stones because most of these colors, you know, I've cut very few fancies, so I'm not real familiar with what they're going to finish as. But from what I've seen, whatever they finish as, they're saleable. So that's coming in the near future. And here's a reminder. These are a good buy. I mean, these are the carat 60 size tanzanites and rhombrandts. They're just for their size. You know, as you get smaller, you don't get as good a color. You know, getting deep color in a carat and a half stone is probably one of the hardest things to do. And so these are just really nice colors and a nice size that can be made into any type of jewelry and is big enough to make a good appearance. So just keep that in mind. I think they're just a good buy, and you know, those are pretty stones. Yeah. Okay, next, Mike. There was a few other things we wanted to mention. You remember what? Okay.
About tanzanite?
No, there was just some things we wanted to get across to everybody. But
Well, I think you discussed a lot of them.
okay. So this is sphalerite. You know, I don't cut sphalerite too often because it's a little difficult. You know, it's not a hard stone, so it's not going in a ring. We're going to worry about putting it in a pendant. Once you get it in, you're okay. But, you know, chipping a stone like this is always a risk when you're doing the setting work because it's not hard. 6-way perfect cleavage. What else is the problem? I guess that's it. You know, because it's only 3.5 hardness, so not a real hard stone. Really a pain in the butt to cut. I mean, just very, very difficult to polish. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that has cut a lot of this that might help me out with a better polishing than 50,000 diamond. But anyway, I got through it and got a nice big stone out of it, 22 karat Portuguese, round sphalerite. That's not it. So really, really great brilliance. Oh. You know, well, you're getting the whole... no more alcohol before, Mike. Yeah. Okay, just kidding. He didn't. He didn't, Nancy.
He didn't.
So a nice big stone and just very, very good brilliance. You know, that's one thing sphalerite has is extreme brilliance. Suppose I had to get it out there and show you. Whoop, now we're out of focus again. Can you give me the big screen? There we go. So it is a real brilliant stone, and it actually, you know, the color looks like spessartite garnets. You know, you'll find, you know, like that Nigerian stone and stuff out of Madagascar is kind of this color. You know, sometimes you see more dispersion in this material, but this one doesn't have a lot of dispersion. It just has really nice brilliance. You know, for a collector stone, it's just a nice stone and a round brilliant, round Portuguese cut. So $13.20 and 15% off with the coupon code SPRING. So I don't know what that is, $50-$60 a carat. Comes to us from Spain. And up next, Michael, is another natural tanzanite. Again, this one good enough colors in it to keep it as a natural. I can get it in the mounting. Not close enough. Whoop. So you can see the different plays of color in it. Blues and purples. Occasionally you see some reds. So again, this is what's known as diesel color. So it's kind of the color when you look into a can of diesel fuel. When you look across the shiny interior of it, it gives you that brownish with the bluish and reddish colors. And that's why it's called diesel. So natural color, it's 4.74 carat. Again, this will heat to a really beautiful color. And given probably 2-3 weeks, if it doesn't sell, I'll probably heat it because I know it'll be a remarkable stone heated. Little different cut. I did a little breakup of the pavilion. It is an emerald cut, but instead of just one facet across the back, it's broken down into 2 facets. So it gives it a little more brilliance.
Is this your barbarian? Or was that
No, this isn't a barbarian.
which one was that one? I couldn't fit it in the thing.
The barbarian was the combat.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, which well, barbarian is a cut I did originally in a 100-carat tanzanite. You know, it's something you don't typically cut a new cut in a stone of that expense, but I did, and it worked out really nicely. Barbarian is a Barian-style pavilion, which is a brilliant-style pavilion, and a opposed bar crown. So that's what this combat stone. So you see the bars that run across that. That's the opposed bar. You know, this is a pixel cut or opposed bar will typically be bars running this direction. On the back would be bars running exactly the opposite direction. But in this case, it's a Barian style. This is a Barian brilliant style pavilion. So Berrien Pavilion, opposed bar crown gives you a barbarian.
Coin that term.
I coined that term. I originated that cutting style. Nobody else does this, to my knowledge. Yeah, I did the first, and it was 100 carat. It was maybe one of the finest tanzanites I've ever cut because it was milk magnesia bottle blue with red flashes. It really was a pretty extraordinary stone and a unique cut with it. So that's a barbarian. Did we finish on this natural? And this is a natural that's not a barbarian, but it's a nicely cut stone and worthy of remaining natural. You know, it is a collector's piece as a natural color. There's no other gem that will display this kind of color. Nothing exists that looks like this other than natural tanzanite. And as 99.9% of them are heated, that makes this a pretty rare stone. And even when they're not heated, a very, very small percentage is worth keeping these natural colors. All right, what's next? Oh, a sale. That's
This is
cool.
a sale. I want to thank Alexander. He purchased one of the round 1.62 carat
Okay.
parcels.
Yeah,
Okay,
why
how many
don't
do you have
you-
of those?
We have 9.
9. Okay.
You know, and if you can just text us and tell us if you'd like it more blue or more purple, you know, those are the 2 choices.
You don't have to text us. You can
Or however.
email us or call us.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think we gave.
contact us.
I'll list Steve's personal number after this.
Yeah.
and you can text
Otherwise,
him
you'll
to-
get a blue purple
Yeah.
because that's mostly what the business has been built on, and you know the blues that are available now. You know, these blues will have some purple in them, but there are at least 3 of them in there that are definitely more blue. And if you look at the video, you can see that some of them have more blue to them, and some prefer that. But you know, in general, the business was built on the mix of blue and purple, and you know, my position is that that's what people prefer because it's, you know, typically been 95% of everything that's been available has been the mix of blue and purple. And the all blue stones that some websites say are the best, you know, are just such a minor part of the business that we know the business wasn't built on those blue stones. You know, although right now is a different world because there are many, many more blue stones available now than I actually want, because I prefer the mix of blue and purple. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with a sapphire-looking blue stone either, you know, so I'll take it while I can get it and just assume this is a unusual time. There's one mine particularly producing more blues right now is my understanding of it, and while they're available, I'm not gonna hesitate to buy those 2. So just let us know if you have a preference either way, and we'll try and get what you're looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right, Mike. Up next, this is a really, really pretty tourmaline. You know, it's really pretty because it's my favorite color in the entire gem business. You know, these peach colors, you know, are Malaya garnet was what got me into these back in this would be the early 1980s. When they started finding Malaya garnet, these kind of colors out of the Kangala deposit in Tanzania. You know, it was special to me, and as soon as it came out, I just bought whatever I could get. You know, my brother, God rest his soul, he didn't like them. And, you know, we were looking at a parcel, and he was actually the boss at the time. And, you know, I said, "You don't want those, I want those." You know, I'd looked at them once and said, "That color's for me." You know, so this is a really special tourmaline. It's the best one I've ever seen coming out of any place. You know, this comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo. You know, it's just beautifully cut in this Portuguese style and just has a really, really great color. And it is a 6.31 carat which is a big stone. Not that they don't come bigger, but not this color. Yeah, trying to get that focus. Again, this is not quite producing the peach this one is peach. This color of this stone is like the finest pot parachas. Pot paracha is pink orange to orange pink, and the ideal ones are kind of a lighter peachy color. And this has the color of pot paracha. And pot paracha like this would be 100,000. Yeah, that's probably not far off. Like 20,000 a carat, 15,000 a carat. But the color in the picture is accurate. This color, as shown on the screen right now, is not as peachy as it is. One of those beautiful stones that if nobody wants it, I would like to keep it, but that's not my habit. But it's one of those that if I had it in a ring, I'd be a happy camper. And I don't have a ring right now, so it's a potential. I gave one of these to my wife. It was a garnet, this color. And everybody was complaining about the price. This is before the price of garnets had gone up. And this was like a 9-carat round brilliant, that I was asking. It may have been 900 a carat. But it was just a remarkable stone. And some of my big buyers complaining because they're thinking garnet prices of 10 years ago. And, things in the garnet world changed dramatically. And finally I just said, yep, guess we're going to keep this and put it on my wife's neck. You're welcome, Nancy. So this is that kind of color. It does something to me. I don't know if it's the color for everybody, but I've always appreciated this color. And that one's special. Being Portuguese cut, again, that cut sells remarkably well for me, and I would cut everything into Portuguese if I could, but not everything works out like that. So $19.80 is the price. 15% off gives you another, what is that, $300 off that. So, question there.
Yeah. First, there was one woman that would like to buy it. Nancy Moriarty Gem is her username.
Is Nancy out there?
She is.
Oh.
She's
what
watching.
time is it? Ooh, it's 9 o'clock, Nancy. Yeah, it's bedtime for Mom. Thanks for watching, though.
Yeah. A couple questions for the stone that we're looking at right now. 2 questions. Did you cut it, and is it natural color?
No, and yes.
Okay.
So, no, I didn't cut it. But it is beautifully cut. I mean, I could have cut it, and I would have said, oh, I did a nice job. So it's really a beautiful cut. And the person I bought it from, I just talked to him today, and they said it's natural. And the other green tourmaline turned out to be natural too. So, I haven't dealt a lot in the tourmalines from the Democratic Republic of Congo, so I'm not real informed on the treatments. But the person I bought the green from, he's the expert. I mean, he's huge into tourmalines. So he said his is natural. She said hers is natural. So I've put on my site that they're both natural. I trust them both. And particularly the one guy that sold me the green, I assumed it was heated also, because most tourmalines are heated. But he said, no, absolutely natural. And so I'm thinking a lot of this material out of Congo is natural. I've been so focused on tanzanite, I've, I didn't miss the boat on the tourmalines, because most of them I just not thrilled with the color of the tourmalines from Congo. But then you see stones like the green one I had, and I can see there are stones from there that are beautiful, and we've seen some of the ones that are what do they call the pink and the, I don't know, it's pink and what's the secondary color in it? There's a name for them. But there are some colors out of Congo. They're really, really beautiful. But the bulk of it, and when I'm looking at parcels, they want to sell the whole parcel. And the pinks and the light greens that are in the parcels, I'm just not interested in. So, a lot of times I've avoided the tourmaline parcels. But I bought this peach color cut, and thrilled with it, and the green that I cut, the parcel, was all those greens, and I can live with that, and just we're sorry that story went on and on, but let's move on. But no, they're both natural. Until I find out differently, I'm gonna stick with that, and I assume it's correct. Not that it makes a difference in the price of tourmalines, whether they're natural or not. It really has no effect on the price of tourmalines. May have an effect on your psyche, but no real effect on the price, whether they're natural or heated. Irradiated, a little different, but even irradiated in tourmalines, or like the rubelites, it really has no negative effect on the price. There's just not a difference. So.
That is a long answer for yes.
That is a long answer. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, we know I can't do that. Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay.
There are
really,
more
I'll cut the
questions,
next one
but
shorter.
I'm not
Sorry,
gonna put anybody else
sorry,
through
folks.
that.
We probably lost 10 viewers because of that. Okay, next stone up. This is a bicolor tourmaline. Kind of an unusual bicolor tourmaline. Green and clear.
What do they call clear tourmaline?
Clear tourmaline. They call it acroite. So acroite at one time was the rarest tourmaline until I heated one, and it was a beautiful brownish pink and heated colorless. I talked about it earlier. At that time, acroite was almost non-existent and was going for a lot of money. So I kind of looked at it and go, well, yeah, I can sell it as an acroite and it's colorless. But, of course, once people find out that you can heat them colorless, then acroite became a stone that wasn't rare. So it really didn't have much value. But acroite's the answer. But this is acroite on one end and a minty green on the other. So it's about 15 millimeters long. So it's a long stone, long and thin. But a nice pendant, could make a unique ring. We've done many rings with long, thin stone like this, and they've sold very quickly. We need to make more rings. And I think your fiance has a beautiful bicolor green and red tourmaline ring. That's probably even smaller than this, but it made a cool piece. So this does go into a ring real well. And if anybody's interested, we can get that picture of that ring, because it's one we should reproduce, because it just has a great look for a smaller tourmaline. And I think hers was a carat and a half, maybe, or
No, it's real small.
it's a carat maybe. Yeah, but it came out really nice because of the long length of the stone. So this one's $650, 15% off that puts it somewhere in the $500 price range. So this is from Afghanistan, and I've actually bought this material long time ago, and still have some of the rough that came out of that country. And I was going to show this. This is another bicolor.
You got the white background.
Yeah. This one I've got to do something with. Such a nice crystal. Hate to cut it. May just make it into a pendant.
Need that fantasy machine.
Yeah. You think?
I think so. You can do some concave cuts on one side.
Yeah. Have to figure that out. Yeah, I'll get one of those soon. So this is, I don't know, where the heck was this one from? Do we have a source on this one? Oh, not on that crystal. But those are both, this is actually a tricolor, but this one we're selling is a bicolor tourmaline. So different color. I maybe seen one other in my time in business with this color variation. And next stone up is, to me, a very rare color. I've cut molly garnets. Molly garnets are grossular andradite mix. This particular mix, I think, only came out of molly. Most of them are green, is all I've ever seen. And the material, I still have a couple of pieces of rough to cut, but they're a light green, whereas this is mostly yellow, just a tad of green to it. Maybe probably less green than what the pictures are showing. They're a little more yellow than these pictures, but the brilliance is just remarkable. As with most garnets, they have a high refractive index and they just produce a diamond-like brilliance. If I showed this to a diamond supplier and said, what do you think about this diamond? They'd just go, oh man, that's just so cool. Because it's just hard to tell the difference from a diamond to these garnets. They have such great brilliance that easily mistaken for a diamond. This even looks more green, but you can, although the color's not accurate, you can see the dispersion involved in this. Like diamond, these produce really a great amount of dispersion. That's those extra colors you're seeing. So it just adds another dimension to this stone. Not only you get the great brilliance, you get those extra colors from the dispersion of the stone. And that's just how the faceting and how the refractive index deals with the colors that are in it, and just actually breaks up the light into these spectral colors. This is what the round zircon that we looked at earlier, the brownish red, it has dispersion similar to what this is, although it wouldn't display it in the camera, whereas this one does. So again, molly garnets don't come big. A 3-carat molly garnet is typically as big as you're going to see. Not that they haven't existed larger, but most of the material is just not going to cut a very big stone. So again, this is a mounting that Christopher Michael Designs. He made this. And kind of a cool piece, the little like raindrop around the side, have 2 diamonds in each one of those, and then diamonds down the shank. Makes a pretty piece. So 1260s, the price on this, this material is just a rare material, like many of the garnets, like Savorite garnets and the Marilani mints. You just don't see much of it, and rarely do you see it cut like this. This, again, a beautiful cut. .2-carat 36, and big size for its weight. There's no extra weight in the belly, so you get a big millimeter size, 8.4 by 7 millimeter, and again that wider shape to the oval produces much greater brilliance, because anytime you get a stone that's 1-to-1 proportions, it will be the most brilliant, or have the potential to be the most brilliant. So a round brilliant is typically the most brilliant cuts, and when you have a broader oval like this, it'll give you more brilliance. When you cut long, thin ovals, it's very hard to make them brilliant. think that's it,
Yeah.
other than some questions.
Yeah,
What's
quiet
that?
group tonight. But yeah, if you have any questions, there's a couple here I'll go through. If you do have any questions, you can post them in the chat on YouTube. Again, coupon code is SPRING. So all the stones that are left, you can still go to the website, purchase it afterwards, and just type in SPRING during your checkout process. And they'll give you
How long
15%
will
off.
that go for? Did we
It's still
decide? Okay, so these
We
will
got
be
time.
available till the next show. And actually, the next show is going to be 5 weeks from now. We're running into Mother's Day, so that Wednesday would normally come up is our busiest time because we have a Mother's Family Rings website, which anybody out there that might be interested in Mother's Ring, it is another one of our specialties. We have a lot of designs that are unique to us, created by Christopher Michael, and we use all natural gemstones, of course, and it is one of our more popular items. That website is probably as busy as our other two websites, and at Mother's Day, it's remarkable how many rings we produce. In a week we'll produce 60 custom rings. And over the Mother's period, it's just very busy time. So we won't be there that week. Will be the week after Mother's Day, which we decided was,
like 15th or something like that.
yeah, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
date is.
What's
Will
the-
be the 12th. So it'll be on the 12th. Yeah, that's about right. 12th of May will be our next show. So I have lots of time to cut some more stones and get some unique pieces out. So what was the question, Jeff?
So, I'm typing here. Okay, so one question was, have you ever cut a bicolor barrel?
No. I've seen some aqua like that. I don't know if I've seen anything else. Emerald, not. I assume it'd be aqua would be the bicolor you'd be talking about. I have seen stuff which is unusual in a barrel. I'm trying to think if I have seen it. Bicolor barrel. I never cut a bicolor barrel, and I'm not sure it exists. Although so many strange things exist, that I don't question anything. There's always something that people dig out of the ground that's different, that doesn't follow the norm, and that would be one that doesn't follow the norm, because generally barrels are pretty homogeneous color throughout the stone. Seeing color zoning in barrel, not common. So it'd be unusual, but don't question it could exist. And no, I haven't cut it.
How about Heliodor?
I've never seen
No.
Heliodor
No. Okay.
that's color zoned like that. They're just the most homogeneous thing. Particularly, you could, because some Heliodors are radiated. You may be able to irradiate a bicolor, just by irradiating one end of the stone. You could definitely do that. So it might be one explanation for a bicolor Heliodor, for sure, because a lot of that material is irradiated to color from light color aquamarine. So.
Okay. Got another question here, but first I just wanted to, hopefully I'm pronouncing their name correctly, but Shah purchased the peach Portuguese tourmaline.
Oh, cool. You'll love it. I'll miss it. So-
Your wife will miss it because I think she wanted it, didn't
Oh,
she?
well.
Yep.
She'll be happy with the money. She likes to pay the bills, and she does a good job at it. So I
Sorry,
spend the
Mom.
money, she takes care of the bills, and I take the shit from both ends sometimes, but, because I've been spending a lot of money lately. So, yes, thank you. You helped me get out of debt here. Help me with my wife. I'll be able to go home and not worry about getting hit with the baseball bat at night. It's what my father used to say. Yeah.
Huh.
His wife was going to hit him with a baseball bat some night. He probably deserved it. But no, sorry, Dad. Yeah, they were great.
And that's what is your favorite type of cut? I think you've answered this in the past shows, but not for a while.
What did I say last time? Well, I like Portuguese. I cut Portuguese all the time. You know, it probably is my favorite cut because least favorite to cut, but produces a beautiful brilliance and sells every time. Portuguese will never be in my stock and will often be the first to go. So I know it's popular. I've been into rounds lately. I've cut a lot of rounds, you know, because they just produce the most brilliance. I do like emerald cuts. I like the effect that they give when I'm done. But Portuguese round would probably be number one. But really a monotonous stone to cut and polish. You know, you just think how many rows. There's 161 facets, and you got to go over each one of those 3 times. So it's a long, arduous task. But each facet polishes pretty quick because they're small. So pluses and minus to it, but the saleability and the beauty of the stone when you're done makes it my most popular and favorite with some reservation. You know, I like, what else do I like? I like kite cuts. You know, there's a kite cut that I've done I like, but you rarely get a chance to cut them. And they're really difficult. They're one of the more difficult cuts to do. So, you know, we sometimes avoid those. Berrien kite is a really, really pretty stone that I need to cut some more of, but you just don't find the rough to cut them. So.
All right, I think that is it.
That is it. Anything else, Mike, that we wanted to mention? Okay. All right, folks, remember, shop online at MoreGems.com, as well as subscribe to us at YouTube, on YouTube at MoreGems. That's going to do it for us today. I want to thank you all for joining us. Sign up for alerts for when we go live. Also, check out all our video links and the info at the bottom of this stream. Until next time, I'm Steve Moriarty. Keep on gemming.